This is Umar Ahmed for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. We're at the BT Tower. Massive deal with BT and Ultimate Boxer. Your thoughts, Paulie Malingnagggi?
My thoughts are, obviously boxing is a sport that I'm very passionate about. And I think if you're passionate about the sport, you're passionate about the fighters, right? And so I think the platform Ultimate Boxer has given these prospects who have maybe flown below the radar, who haven't really been known as hot prospects, but had the talent, who just couldn't get themselves in front of the proper eyeballs, now have given themselves the opportunity to get in front of the proper eyeballs, right? And so with Ultimate Boxer now coming with this big TV deal with BT, it only adds more eyeballs to the product of Ultimate Boxer, and of course that just creates more opportunity for these prospects. It's sort of a domino effect, and obviously the prize is being seen at your best by all the right people, so that you can further your career in a way that you were having trouble doing before that, and getting in front of the right eyes.
What do you make of the product? Friday night, younger audience it's trying to hit. It's different.
Different, but I think that's what you need. You don't want to compete with the big pay-per-view fights. You don't want to compete with the big championship fights. I have no problem thinking of Friday as sort of the prospect night and Saturday as the championship night. I think in the U.S. we used to have that when the old Friday Night Fights concept. Where ESPN used to have the Friday Night Fights concept, and it was more up-and-coming fighters who were going to be maybe stars of tomorrow, or guys who are mid-level contenders trying to break through to the top-level contenders. I fought there on those shows early on in my career. Before I broke into the high level. So I think It's a thing where Friday night fits. It fits the bill. Friday night fits the younger audience, and it fits for this prospect type of thing.
Paulie, can I get your reaction to Errol Spence's win over Marky Garcia on the weekend? Very dominant display from Errol.
Yeah, I thought it was a terrific display. I think the prevalent thinking going into the fight was that Errol was going to be too big for Mikey. And sure, late in the fight he showed the physicality could wear down Mikey. But really, what I was most impressed with was the early part of the fight, where he didn't even make it a physical fight. Almost like he chose to say, you know what, I'm going to show you guys that I'm actually better than this guy first. I'm going to outbox him thoroughly. And then in the second half of the fight, I'm going to show him that he made a mistake by jumping up all these weight classes, and show him that a bigger man is also a problem. So I don't think he made it a physical fight as early as I would have thought he would have wanted to. But it's possible that he did that just to prove a point, and he really, to me, he made that point, because Mikey's an excellent fighter, but this would have been a fight where even if Errol was a natural lightweight, he would have dominated it, because he was head and shoulders above Mikey, even in the skill department early in the fight, and that was where really he showed his class. Say late in the fight, he's making it a physical fight. You say, okay, this is the Errol we expected. He's a big guy, and he's still really taking it to the smaller guy. But early in the fight, and credit to Mikey for hanging in there, by the way, because he took a lot of punishment late in that fight. But early in the fight, when it was just a pure boxing match, he was really just showing the levels that he's at, and he was levels above Mikey, and that says a lot, because Mikey's a very high-level fighter.
Manny Pacquiao got in the ring after. Errol was very vocal in wanting that fight next. Does that fight interest you?
It could. I think Manny is a guy who showed he still has a lot left with the Broner fight. One in a dominating fight. So obviously people want to see Manny against some of these high-level guys. I think, listen, whether you say it interests you or not, you're going to watch that fight, because Manny's a big name, and Errol's one of the up-and-coming guys who are looking to become big stars, and people kind of pen him as one of the future stars of the sport. So I think this is sort of a changing of the guard kind of fight. Manny still has a big following, and he's still coming up with some very key wins to keep him relevant. And Errol obviously is in the prime of his career, dominating very high-level opposition, like he just did over the weekend. So I think the fight makes sense, and it's going to make dollars and cents, obviously, too.
Moving on, Deontay Wilder has been talking to DAZN. Rumours are that he's rejected the $100 million deal for 3 fights. Your reaction to that?
Listen, I think the politics of the sport make things a lot more complicated than people realize. There was about a year ago where people were criticizing Joshua for turning down a $50 million deal from Deontay Wilder. I don't think it's just to do with money here in these situations. When it comes to Fury, Wilder, and Joshua, there's a protective barrier they have by having a deal with their own network. You force guys to come to you. You avoid getting robbed. You avoid the politics being not in your favor. And that's very important when you're at a high level, to kind of not have a deal with the negative politics of the sport. So when you're protected by having your own network deal, it puts you in a higher pedestal. And I think that's more the complication of this. As protected as the fighters are from having their own deal, it hurts the ability to make these fights in in the sense that the fans want to see them. You know, fans don't understand the business. Fans only understand the sport. And as athletes, we want to be part of the sport, but unfortunately, we also have to look out for ourselves business-wise. And people are going to say, oh, what are you talking about business-wise? It's a $100 million deal. Yes, of course. But when you've got Deontay's team in his ear promising other things, you don't know what he will be turning down. You know, maybe there's possibly other things that are there at the Fox Showtime platform that he may not be able to get at the Zone. You know, they're mainly and prime and first and foremost, you know, the protection he has from having his own deal there. You know what I'm saying? Well, he is the premier guy there. You know, as opposed to if he goes to the Zone, you know, it's a battle with him and Joshua, and you're fighting it out. You know, or at ESPN where it's Fury. You know, so I think there's a lot more to the politics than just the money, you know. But of course, money has a lot to do with it as well, of course.
He did say in a recent interview, though, that he's the man in the division. He holds all the keys. Now, considering Joshua has the majority of the belts, Fury unlocked the doors against Klitschko, do you think them comments are justifiable from Deontay?
I think Deontay is rightfully saying the things he believes in himself, you know. But I think any of the other heavyweights have a right to say that as well, you know. So I think Joshua has a right to say that. I think Fury has a right to say that, and of course Deontay has a right to say that. I don't really criticize that thought process, that line of thinking, because if you're in his position, you have to think that way, and you have to feel that way, you know, because it's part of the confidence of being the fighter at a world-class level. And I think he has a right to have that conversation. And whether you agree with him or not, it's not like he's totally out of line by saying it. Listen, he's one of the main heavyweights in the world, so he's not out of line by saying it, but you know, he's also obviously saying it from a personal standpoint as well. Obviously, he's going to be biased towards himself, as any of us would be towards ourselves, right?
Of course. Just want to go talk about your mate quickly, CONOR McGREGOR. I think it was 5 or 6 days ago in Miami. He got arrested for punching, I think, someone my age, a British guy. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that. That's funny because I was actually down there right after that. I didn't see that. I mean, I heard about it, obviously. I don't think he hit anybody. I think it was more so that he just smashed the guy's phone, you know, or he took the guy's phone because he took a selfie or something. Listen, that happens to me all the time. We're leaving arenas, guys jump in front of you trying to take a selfie, trying to, you know, leave the fight. A lot of times that happens to me. I've never done that. Listen, you know, there comes a point where you have to show your class. This guy has a lot of fans. He should probably be more appreciative to his fans. You know, most of them will never meet him. He'll if you kiss his ass good enough, he'll be nice to you. But you got to really be an ass kisser, otherwise he won't be nice to you. And so, you know, when you approach him, if you want to lower yourself and diminish yourself to the point of ass kissing, he'll give you the picture, and he'll feel like he's superior to you. You know, but if you go up to him like a normal person, or just want to take your phone out and take a selfie, sure, you know, he'll break your phone. You know, and I think, you know, people at a certain point have to realize, you know, what a dickhead this guy is.
I've seen some reports as well saying that he's considering a return to boxing. Your thoughts on that?
I don't know. It's possible. You know, we'll see. I think people have seen his level of boxing, and you know, we'll see what he comes up with. You never know with Conor McGregor. You know, you pay him enough money, he'll take a good beating for anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, he won't even take a good beating. He'll find a way to quit, but at least he'll let you beat him up. You know, he's sort of like a hooker or a prostitute. You know, she'll let you do anything of what you want as long as you pay her enough money. You pay Conor enough money, you can smack him all over the place as much as you want. We've seen that already.
Fair enough, Paulie. Thank you very much for talking to IFL TV, and we'll catch up soon.
Absolutely.